Hey there, everyone. This video is intended to hopefully explain a little bit more about the upcoming house system at Treasure Coast Classical Academy, where it comes from, the purpose behind it, and really the goal and vision behind what it is we're trying to do. And all of this starts back in the 19th century when boys would be sent off to various boarding schools. And at these boarding schools, primarily in England, there was a few other places, but they would go to these boarding schools and they'd be placed in houses. And these houses, groups of students would travel everywhere together. They would compete in games together. They would eat meals together. They would go to class together. And these cohorts eventually just were called the houses that they were living in. Now, each of these houses as well were under the direct supervision of a particular member of the faculty who was tasked with the responsibility to help guide these boys into young men, exemplifying what they thought scholarship should look like, what virtuous living should look like, as well as really just produce the type of person that they wanted to come out of their institution. Now, this idea, rooted in antiquity, goes back even further. Early on, back before formal education was even widely available to the public, many times teachers would have specific students that they would take from perhaps a small group and really invest and pour themselves in to help them grow into virtuous people. Now, at Treasure Coast Classical Academy, we hope to take some of those principles and implement them into the upper school education of your scholar. And what this is going to look like is at the beginning of next year and every subsequent year, incoming scholars are going to be randomly sorted amidst the different houses that we have. And each of those houses is going to be led by a faculty member chosen that we have. And then underneath that, there's a whole student leadership structure where students have been able to apply and they're able to interview and then earn some of those spots to grow in leadership. Now, what does this mean for you? It means that your scholar is going to be able to come in day one and belong. Hopefully, they feel like they're able to immediately connect, that they have students and faculty looking out for them and helping to guide them through the chaos that can possibly be the times that are middle school and high school. Now, additionally, we're hoping that the system produces a lot of school unity, that across grade levels, a 6th grade student is able to connect with eventually a 12th grade student and be able to build into one another and learn from each other within this context. Additionally, that both the 6th grader and the 12th grader are being formed and shaped in the purposeful direction that comes with our vision and mission at this school. That the house system will seek to be a vehicle by which virtue is implemented and taught. And the way that that's going to happen is actually through points. Each house is going to be competing against another house for the shield of Achilles and the honor of winning. Right? It shouldn't have to go further than that. But really, all of the points are going to be geared towards helping your scholar succeed. Meaning that a scholar could earn a point for doing something virtuous throughout the school day. Perhaps they could earn points for doing well in academics or during an event or something outside of school. Really, a lot of these points are going to come from the virtuous actions of scholars, helping them to grow towards that. Now, additionally, there's been a number of different cases where people have done research on house systems. And what we've seen in all of them is that disciplinary cases tend to go down. And the reason for that is, I don't think because there's any sort of magic that has to do with a house system, but because you actually have scholars working together to keep themselves accountable. Additionally, it helps kids come together in ways where if one is falling behind, perhaps a student in leadership is able to go to them, help them, lead them along. Additionally, you have faculty members that are involved in the events of the students' day-to-day lives, helping them to go through all of the issues that may come up. Additionally, what we see is that it helps kids grow in leadership. Because what they're able to do is take hold of perhaps an event or a fundraiser or something along those lines and sink their teeth into it, make it their own, and help the school grow into something that they're really proud of. Additionally, beyond that, what we see is a growth in virtue amidst the hearts and the minds of all scholars involved. It's a very direct fashion where houses meet together corporately and are able to discuss both the events that they have and then participate in those events together. Meaning that when we're looking at this big picture, we're seeing the ability for a student of any type to be able to connect, grow, and feel like they're able to be welcomed here. Now, I'm sure you have a lot more questions. So do I. The house system is going to come out at the beginning of the year, and there's going to be a series of videos that I'm releasing to just give more information when we have it. When there is a sorting done, which will be done between now and the beginning of school, you'll be notified as to your scholar's house as well as their house leader, and they will be able to get in contact with you, reach out, and just form a relationship. Really, the goal here is not to usurp any sort of familial distinction and or responsibility, but to in loco parentis, as the phrase is said, work in partnership with a family to be able to help your scholar grow and succeed. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate everything. Feel free to reach out to me. My email is sfoat, F-O-A-T, at treasurecoastclassical.org. That's all. Thank you so much.